desperate on the dotted line. Let's fill the doubt for your freedom ring and patriotic voices sing. Red, white, blue, never give up. You represent America.
Hoping and praying for a brighter day. I listen to my heart and I obey. How can I see it any other way? I'm looking at life with my own eyes.
Here are some exciting scenes from today's episode of Liberty's Kids.
I think it's some kind of underwater boat that you're going to attack the Redcoats with.
Our infant navy can't beat the British on top of the sea, so we intend to strike from beneath.
And the target?
Admiral Howe's flagship, the Eagle. Sink her, and we break the blockade. If we fail, Howe's brother lands his army and takes New York.
I will not aid in the death of British sailors.
James, look. Regarde.
September 4th, 1776. Dear Mother, James, Henri and I find ourselves in New York, and the city is under siege. Lord Admiral Howe has arrived with nearly 30,000 troops, and the wooden walls of his fleet have sealed off Manhattan Island. No help or supplies can reach the colonials from the sea. The rebels, licking their wounds from their devastating defeat on Long Island, are down to only 9,000 able men. Last night, a British officer boasted, Admiral Lord Howe's flagship, HMS Eagle, alone could sink what there is of the splinter fleet fur-built rebel navy. Henri, when will you learn to close a door when entering a room?
But I'd only have to open it again when we leave to meet James.
A story?
James wants us to meet him at the fishing wharf as soon as you're ready.
Coming?
You're going to be thrilled.
A sea monster? In New York Harbor? Sir, that is most unlikely.
Maybe not thrilled.
Feisty girl, eh? But hear me, lass. I've fished these waters fair and foul more years than the three you been alive, and never seen the likes of this. Last midnight, it was a mile north of the Whitehall Battery and less than a cable length away from my boat. Round it was, bright like a candle. I tried to give chase, but down it goes, a light under the water.
And then gone?
Like a ghost at dawn.
I'd like to rent your skiff tonight.
You're not thinking of stalking this seagoing phantom? Oh, James, it isn't real.
Are you sure? Because I think I know what its next meal is. There's the Whitehall Battery. We row a mile north. See anything?
Yes. Trouble, if we run into a patrol.
Or the monster.
Henri, no one believes in monsters. I remind you, this is the 18th century.
Oh, but I have heard stories about giant beasts that eat whole ships in one bite.
That's more than I can swallow.
I think she made a joke.
And a joke is what we are. Out here in the middle of... Look! It's the monster!
Hey! What are you doing? Let's get after it.
After it, we should be getting away from it.
If that's a monster, monster, Henri. The nature's become a coppersmith.
What is it?
I'll tell you later.
The pump was sticking again. I couldn't surface fast enough.
If you must, release the bomb. You'll pop right up and... What did you see?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
They were watching from the woods.
I repeat, what did you see?
We saw that.
And that is?
I think it's some kind of underwater boat that you're going to attack the Redcoats with.
If that were so, such an enterprise would require secrecy, which begs the question of what to do with you three spies.
We are not spies. We're journalists. For Benjamin Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette.
My word.
No, my words. I wrote that.
And I wrote the grammatically correct article below it.
Benjamin Franklin helped convince General Washington that my turtle was an idea worth trying. I'm in his debt. You three may stay, but only if you give your word you'll withhold the story until after the attack.
We agree. Now, Mr.
Bushnell. David Bushnell, late of Saybrook, Connecticut.
James Hiller, Sarah Phillips, and Henri Lefevre. Now, about this attack.
Our infant navy can't beat the British on top of the sea, so I intend to strike from beneath.
And the target?
You won't be disappointed. Admiral Howe's flagship, the Eagle. 64 guns, the most powerful ship this side of the Atlantic. Sink her, and we break the blockade.
Keep a lookout for the patrols. There's even more ships since last night. I count 300 hulls. Make for the battery.
Something up ahead. Halt! By order of the Crown.
They've got us! Remember, men, say nothing. They can't find out.
What is that?
I call it a rotating oar. It moves the vessel forward.
And this one helps it go under.
Mr. Bushnell, you have created what men have dreamt of. An underwater craft that is practical and safe.
My little turtle is all that and more. You see, once under the Eagle, Sergeant Lee will drill a small hole in the hull and attach this underwater bomb.
But bombs can't explode underwater.
This one can, and when it does, it will send a message to the HMS Eagle that we are a force to be reckoned with.
But the soldiers will have no warning.
Yes, we are living in strange times. But we are at war, Miss Phillips, and soldiers understand war.
There's also pumps, ballast weights, rudder. No end of things to turn, pump, screw, and unscrew.
I know there's a lot to learn, Sergeant. I wish we had more time for training.
There's another problem, I fear. The Redcoats captured the towboat. They took the crew.
I don't think they'll talk, at least not right away. It's all right, General Putnam. They work for Benjamin Franklin.
Ah, yes, I've met the boy. A fine show at Bunker Hill in Boston, eh, lad?
Yes, sir.
This does leave us with a problem.
It does indeed, General Putnam.
Even if the men don't talk, Hal will know that some plan is afoot. We must strike soon. When can you attack?
We need a calm sea and a weak ebb tide, say the night after next. But we'll need another boat to tow the turtle into range.
Maybe I can help. Let us do it.
3 youths in the middle of that armada. It's dangerous.
We've been in dangerous spots before, sir. We know how to avoid trouble.
3 youths, one of them a girl? They would be ignored as harmless.
Besides, I'd only be towing, not actually attacking. And if we're going to report this story, we have to be on the water.
What do you have in mind, son?
What happened?
Sarah, could you please make a sketch of the turtle for the paper?
I suppose so.
Huh?
Listen, we can't let Sarah know this. She'd object. We're supposed to be journalists, not soldiers. We're not supposed to be part of the action.
You do not trust her?
Sure, I trust her, but she is British.
I think we should tell her.
Look, we'll fill her in later. for right now, just tell her we're...
Observing the British fleet? But why at night?
We're letting them get used to us, so they'll ignore us when the turtle goes on its mission. Here!
What is going on with you two? Wait!
There!
They've seen us. What should we do?
Fish!
Hey, two! I'm coming aboard! What are you doing out here?
We are planning to attack and stick you with fish hooks.
What's this, then?
They are notes for writing my mother and my adventures in the colonies.
Your mother takes a keen interest in military affairs.
There's nothing seditious about an intelligent woman wanting to keep well informed.
That's for Black Dick to decide. Bosun, pass the tow line.
Black Dick?
That's what the sailors call Admiral Howe. Give us Black Dick and we fear nothing.
But why do they call him Black Dick?
Perhaps he has a dark temperament.
We're going to find out. They're taking us aboard the Eagle.
Compliments. You're to escort the prisoners to his day cabin.
Very good, sir. This way.
Oh.
What's the matter, m'lady? Don't like a bit of mold with your bread?
As you can see, we plan to control the Hudson River Valley by holding Montreal on the north and New York to the south, cleaving the colonies in two. Divide and conquer.
A sound strategy, if this were Europe and all pleasant fields and farms, but it's nothing but dense, hostile wilderness. Nature will fight us as defiantly as the colonials. As a colleague observed, you cannot conquer a map. We must first negotiate.
Negotiate? With these ignorant rebels?
I see you've never met Benjamin Franklin. He may be many things, including a rebel, but his worst enemy would not dare call him ignorant. Don't underestimate the Americans, Captain. They're carving a nation out of wilderness.
They claim they were night fishing, sir, but I found this. She said their notes for writing her mother.
I trust there's a good explanation for plying restricted waters in the middle of the night.
Like we said, we were night fishing, sir.
Indeed. Well, you've hooked some trouble, young man.
Admiral Howe, we're journalists, and we're writing about your fleet.
We work for Benjamin Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette.
Benjamin Franklin?
Mother sent me to stay with him while she remained in London. Dr. Franklin very kindly taught us to be journalists.
And how is my dear friend, Dr. Franklin?
Is there anyone the boss doesn't know?
He is very well, thank you.
Sir, the rebels are planning something. Franklin or not, I don't trust them.
My captain is a cautious man, and with excellent reason.
I assure you, we are only observing.
Just fishing for facts.
Young lady, I want your word as a loyal subject of the Crown that you're taking no action against us.
You have it. It's the truth.
I suppose it is prudent to make friends with the press, sir.
Indeed, Captain.
Oh, I did not think we would ever get off that ship and complete our mission.
Our mission, Henri? You mean gathering facts?
What else?
You mean what else aren't you and James telling me? You two have been acting odd all night. What is going on?
We're going to tow the turtle and be part of the attack.
What? I wanted to tell you right away.
Thanks, Henri. I guess you're upset?
No, I'm not upset. I'm livid. I gave my word to Admiral Howe. You have made me a liar. I've never lied in my life.
Never?
How could you betray me like this?
Sarah, it's not what you think.
What am I supposed to think? That you've forsaken your duty as a journalist for personal glory?
I knew you wouldn't understand.
You understand. I will not aid in the death of British sailors.
But we're only towing the...
And that makes it right? How horrible! I'm ashamed of you. I'll have nothing to do with this. Am I your prisoner, Mr. Bushnell?
Of course not, but I must insist on your being my...
Guest?
Only until after the attack.
Please, Sarah. Maybe if you promise not to tell
You've
any...
already made a liar out of me once, Mr. Hiller. That is enough for one night. Ugh.
Dawn's in 2 hours. Time to go.
Give me a minute. We're going now. I just wanted to say goodbye. Can't tell what might happen out there, you know?
You don't have to do this.
Yes, I do.
It's wrong.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I've got to go.
Guess I won't need this tonight.
Not unless you want a beacon to alert the British. It'll be dark, but the Foxfire moss inside will provide light enough to read the depth gauge. Looks like you'll get your story firsthand tonight. Best of luck for all of us.
Lots of lobster bats on the water for this hour. I wonder if they know what's happening.
We're here.
Still wish I had more training.
You'll do fine. I'm sure of it. A patrol! Hurry, and good luck!
The time passes slowly, doesn't it?
It does indeed, Miss Phillips.
Nearly done, sir.
By heaven, I know where I'd rather be.
Why aren't you? Why hastily train someone else to lead the attack?
The turtle calls for limbs stouter than mine. I lack the strength and endurance. My dear brother trained for months. He could make her thread a needle if he had to.
What happened?
He so wants to strike a blow for liberty, but he's down with a fever that ravages our troops. I'm sure Sergeant Lee will do his best.
A little bit up. That's it. Steady now. Steady. Come on. Stop! Pushed off. Current strong. Must fight it.
Lee's air supply is going to run out. Where is he?
The bomb should have exploded by now. Something's wrong. Please get out of the boat.
You said that something was wrong. I want to help my friends, but I can't do it alone.
Air. Giving out.
There he is. Oh, they've seen him.
Bushnell.
They're going to be captured. Shoot at the bomb. Blow it up.
That'll send them running and loosen that dreaded blockade.
Signal the fleet. Cut anchors and drift with the tide.
But that will loosen our blockade, sir!
Until we know what and how many we're up against, I won't risk the fleet. Recall the longboats!
They're cutting their anchors.
And their longboat is turning away.
Your friends are safe, Miss Phillips.
I just wanted to thank you for what you did out there, and also to say I'm sorry. I should have told you the truth. I was wrong not to.
Yes, you were. And it hurt.
I just didn't know which side you were really loyal to.
Whichever one it may be. Nothing would change my loyalty to my friends.
Thanks to you two, my turtle will live to fight another day.
I'm afraid it'll be without us, sir. A wise lady has reminded me that good journalists record events. They don't make events.
September 7th, 1776. Dear Mother, Admiral Howe has moved his fleet to a more distant anchorage. I must admit, my admiration of these ingenious colonials. There is something about this new world that inspires new thoughts. Perhaps its untamed vastness fills the heart with dreams of endless possibilities. The more I am here, the more I believe in the future of this infant nation.
Look at this! Jams! And jams! And more jams! Oh, and rock candy! Moses and I will starve while you're in France.
Those sweets are to ease the discomfort of a long voyage.
If you try to ship out with our peach jam, you'll have to get past me first.
Congress won't be happy if you delay their most important statesman.
They would understand if they knew how good this jam tastes.
You're probably right. But they have asked Dr. Franklin to try to enlist France in the American cause.
Right now, we Americans stand alone in the world. We must acquire allies, or the revolution is doomed.
Promise me you'll bring back some French pastries.
I'm worried about him. After his last voyage, he swore he'd never cross the Atlantic again. 70 is very, very old. At his age and in his health, who knows if he'll survive the trip? There! Who's it from?
Sarah and James. Would you like to read it, Henri?
I couldn't possibly read through the tears in my eyes. Tears from seeing all this food for the last time.
I hope it's good news. If I'm to convince France to help us, we have to show that we can gain a victory against the British on our own.
What's wrong?
Washington is retreating from Manhattan.
Dear Mother, please forgive the irritable nature of my letter, but I'm tired and thirsty. And the men in these colonies suffer from a decided lack of gallantry. In addition, since I'm not a man, General Washington told me I couldn't stay at the front lines. He sent me to a place called Fort Tryon.
Here!
It can't be much of a fort, as I'm about to join a group of camp followers, women and children who live here with their soldiers. I'd certainly rather be viewing the action with the General and James than be here watching people wash clothes. Thank you, sir.
Nice little stroll, huh?
Huh?
I'm Margaret Corbin. My friends call me Molly. Who are you?
Thank you. I'm Sarah Phillips. It's good.
Of course it is. The dirt from the river adds flavor.
Oh.
I've been General Washington's secretary for months now, and I've never seen him so discouraged.
All we need is a victory, and I know the general will deliver it. He's the most decisive, commanding man I've ever met.
Lieutenant Harrison, I need you now.
Commanding is right.
English is not even my language. This here talk funny, and I can't learn to read.
Who says this?
Other boys.
Let me tell you something, Henri. It's a credo I live by. Be what you want to be, not what people tell you you can be.
Well, then stop telling me I can be a reader. What I want to be is left alone.
You owe it to yourself to hone your reading, writing, and arithmetic.
I'm doing just fine without it.
Yes, you've done well so far. You've learned a trade and a second language, and I'd like to help you keep learning.
Why?
For one thing, if you could improve your skills at estimation, we might not be short logs for the fire, and we wouldn't both be freezing our toes off.
At least we're not outside. Do you think Sarah and James are all right out in the wilderness?
Rosemary, stop wiping your nose on my dress. Ouch! This is ridiculous. I'm out in the middle of Fort Nowhere fishing for trousers.
You're not the only one who didn't want to come here.
Oh, hello, Molly.
After my husband John enlisted, he was about to leave our place in Pennsylvania. Know what it's like to be a woman living alone in the wilderness?
I'm sure I don't.
In that wild country, I wouldn't even have been able to feed myself.
Hey, Maul. What's for supper? Some kind of shirt soup?
Better than raw squirrel or whatever it is you got stuck in your beard.
Ah, you leg puller. Raw squirrel. It's probably raccoon.
It's amazing the way you keep your optimism in a place like this.
Dearie, when I was 5, my daddy was killed and my mama kidnapped. I never saw her again. If that didn't ruin my life, I'm sure not gonna let this do it.
Who's your friend, Ma?
Sarah, she's English.
Well, we won't hold that against her.
This is John. He's a matras. Cleans and loads the cannons. I'm mighty proud of him. One reason I don't mind working so hard. We can't have the man loading the cannon wear dirty drawers, can we?
What kind of cannons are they?
Pennsylvania 6-pounders, right up there on the brow of that hill. We protect the northern approach to Fort Washington. Those beauties will make things plenty tough on the lobsterbacks. I beg your pardon for the slight, Sarah.
Never mind. I quite understand.
Ignore him. John just doesn't like red. Sure am lucky he married me.
Don't let her fool you, Sarah. I'm lucky she married me.
It's not like I had lots of choices. It was either him or Squirrel Beard over there.
It's raccoon!
Dr. Franklin, the only thing you'll catch with a line that thick is influenza.
I think I've already got that. Actually, at the other end of the line is a thermometer to measure the water temperature.
I'll save you the trouble. It's cold.
I study the ocean currents and temperatures every time I cross the Atlantic. It was these studies that helped me chart the Gulf Stream 7 years ago.
Just don't let your studies interfere with your health. It's my job to get you to France alive. How are you feeling?
I'm not sleeping well in these rough seas, and the food, particularly the salt beef, is tough on 70-year-old teeth. fresh air seems to do me some good. However, I'd prefer to avoid the frequent baths.
Gentlemen, I have surprising news. The British have begun moving back to Manhattan. I suspect they're mobilizing to attack Fort Washington. Our last stronghold in Manhattan. It houses some of our finest troops and a large amount of our armaments and ammunition. This fort and its outposts are critically important to the war for both sides.
Sarah's at one of those outposts.
Yes, your friend who wanted to see action is about to get her wish.
Swab cannon!
Load powder.
Load ball!
Ram her home.
Cannon ready to fire!
Molly, how brave you are.
She's the best artillery mate in the whole regiment.
I can't believe you're permitted to do such a thing.
I don't ask permission to do nothing. I believe in being what you want to be, not what people tell you to be.
I know someone else who shares your point of view.
Je ne connais pas les mots. I can't read the recipe. I'm starved to death. Who is there?
Henri?
Moses, is that you?
What's wrong, lad?
Nothing's wrong.
Come on, son, tell me.
When you didn't come back, I tried to make dinner from the notes you left me, but I couldn't measure.
Oh, you're teasing me now.
And there's lots of words I don't understand. You're the one who's teasing me. Oh, you were late on purpose. You knew I wouldn't be able to make myself food. I could have starved.
Somehow, I think you wouldn't have starved. But reading and measuring are important things to know. Have you changed your mind about learning them?
Yes. Even if other fellows don't think I can. But not right away.
Why not?
Because I'm too hungry.
First, a late supper. Then, a late lesson.
We absolutely must evacuate Fort Washington. The armaments at the fort are critical to our cause. America has no munitions factories. We've no way to replace the guns and ammunition if they're captured.
General Washington, I strongly disagree with Colonel Reed. I'm confident we can hold the fort.
If we can hold it, we should hold it.
Sir, General Greene would risk over 2,000 of our finest troops. We've already lost too many to disease and desertion. I don't have the stomach to lose any more.
We're in a war, Joe. We're bound to lose men if you haven't the stomach for it. Get another job. I stand by my recommendation to hold the fort.
General Greene's right. We must fight. Excuse me. Sirs.
Sir, this hesitation to evacuate is nothing short of reckless. Forgive me, but you must make up your mind.
It's only November. How much colder does it get here?
Much. That's why when John's tour of duty's up, we're moving south. Then we'll start a family.
Oh, how many children do you want?
I don't know. 8, 10.
Oh, my.
John's a good man. He'll make a fine father. Probably a tired one, too.
I miss my family terribly. But being around people like you makes my stay here so much easier.
Here now. I'll make it easier still. I like to press the summer flowers. They always add a bit of cheer when winter comes knocking.
It still has its perfume.
General Washington, sir, we need a decision now. Do we abandon Fort Washington or do we defend it? General Greene, as you are the officer most familiar with the situation, I leave it to you to give such orders as to defending Mount Washington as you judge best.
I appreciate your confidence in me, sir.
So, General Howe demands that I surrender this fort over to you British. Please repeat the following to your commander. Give me leave to assure His Excellency that, inspired by the most glorious cause that mankind ever fought in, I am determined to defend this post to the last man.
I would expect nothing else from a soldier of Colonel McGaw's reputation. That will be all. Gentlemen, I am resolved to crush the rebels into dust. Even a single victory could give their so-called revolution momentum on the battlefield as well as support from foreign shores. Especially France.
Look at all the redcoats. They're preparing for an attack.
And we won't have long to wait either. See there? Hessian troops to the north.
Hessian mercenaries! I can't believe the king is paying Germans to come here and kill British colonists.
General Washington's not going to evacuate the fort after all, is he?
He's worried that it may not be as strong as we think. He wants to inspect it in person.
Why does he keep changing his mind?
The British have begun their attack! Like it or not, we have lost our opportunity to evacuate the fort.
With this 6-pounder, we might be able to hold off the Hessians. But not the King's Navy.
Chance against so many British troops?
No, we'll have to make a run for Fort Washington. John! John! Oh, John. My love.
Molly?
Keep firing. If we can't hold this position, you won't have the Corbins to blame.
Help us.
Fort Tryon has fallen. There's nothing we can do for those poor souls.
Please let Sarah be all right. General! They're raising the Union Jack over Fort Washington!
That's it, then. General Howe has prevailed. This is a most unfortunate affair and has given me great mortification, as we have lost not only 2,000 men, but a good deal of artillery and some of the best arms we had.
Sir, the men panicked. I did not account for the possibility if we had but held the perimeter.
No, sir. We should have abandoned the fort as General Lee and I urged. Gentlemen, please. I, alone, am to blame.
I've never seen him look so disappointed, so helpless.
He is in danger of becoming a parody of a general.
I pray Colonel Reed is wrong.
What happened to Fort Tryon? To Sarah?
Women and children will be returned to us. This may be war, James, but there are rules.
What's that? I think it's... Yes, it is! The camp followers from Fort Tryon! Sarah! Excuse me? Sarah? Sarah? Oh, I'm sorry. Sarah! Thank goodness you're safe.
Yes, I'm safe.
How can we continue the fight after this? It's hopeless.
Nothing's hopeless. Not when people like Molly fight on when all seems lost. If all the colonists display her spirit, America will be very difficult to defeat.
Will your friend be all right?
Yes, you can't keep the Corbins down.
I learned an important lesson today, Mr. Harrison. As much as I respect my generals and consider them my family, never again will I make a decision that goes against my own instincts. A disaster like this battle must never happen again. We must prevail in our fight for freedom. We will prevail in our fight for freedom.
Maybe with the spirit of George Washington.
And Captain Molly, and Ben Franklin, and so many others.
All isn't lost after all.
Dearest Mother, it feels wonderful to stop and rest upon my return to New Windsor to cover events at General Washington's headquarters. I just left James and Henri in Newport, Rhode Island. Henri is so excited that French forces have arrived. He brags that they will end the war, and soon. I do hope he's right. Sometimes it seems as if the violence has been going on forever.
Line company to drill after sundown.
James thinks he can use Henri's help speaking French when he meets General Rochambeau, the commander of the French army. He told Henri he could go with him, as long as Henri promises to behave himself.
Excusez-moi! Excuse me!
Whoa!
And who have we here?
Henri, what are you doing?
Paying tribute to the pastry of my homeland.
Pas de problème. It's all right. Return to your duties.
Merci!
So, you are French?
Oui!
Is this young man a fellow journalist, James?
My apprentice. and he humbly apologizes for his actions, sir.
An apprentice who speaks French? Perhaps he might be interested in reporting firsthand how the British fleet has our navy blockaded in the harbor?
Would I? I mean, oui, mon général. I've been waiting for a chance to prove I'm as good as James.
I guess he deserves the chance, General.
I will make arrangements immediately.
Whoa! Ugh. Driver, is someone shooting at us?
Sure looks that way, ma'am. It's a band of armed Tories. I'm Robert Shirtliff, Light Infantry, Massachusetts 4th Regiment. You best come with me to safety.
Well, I'm not so sure. All right. Armed Tories here?
Yes, ma'am. There are folks in New York still loyal to England.
Oh.
They help the British by attacking us where we don't expect it, behind our own lines. It's our job to stop them.
Is that how you got that scar on your forehead?
Yep, from a loyalist saber.
You were cut by a sword? You don't even look old enough to shave.
Shh, they're getting close.
General Rochambeau, sir, how do you like America?
It is not what I expected. Why, you don't even have a centralized government. Your Congress can only suggest what the state should do. Your treasury is empty, your military supplies are nearly exhausted, and the local citizenry is hungry.
I know. Even General Washington is upset that his soldiers must take food from citizens to feed themselves. But I'm sure he'll think of something.
He already has. The general sent Colonel Laurent to France to beg for more gold, guns, and gunpowder.
Why would he send Colonel Lawrence when Ben Franklin is already there?
Côte de Virginie, may I present Congress's special envoy, Colonel John Lawrence of South Carolina.
Bonjour, Colonel.
And good day to you, sir. Dr. Franklin has told me of how unfailingly the French Foreign Minister of Finance has supported our cause.
I wish I could do more.
You can do more.
Colonel Laurent, while you were journeying here to France, we graciously agreed to give America a gift of 6 million livres. You should congratulate Dr. Franklin.
Sir, you mock me. We need 25 million livres, otherwise I fear that the sword I now wear to defend France as our ally, I may be forced to draw against France as a British subject.
If I am to be insulted in this manner, I'm afraid I must take my leave.
Monsieur Virgin, a message has just arrived from Chevalier de la Luzerne.
And what does our ambassador to the American Congress in Philadelphia have to say?
He wants to know how you are progressing with your plan for a peace conference.
Shh! The Americans know nothing of my plan to betray their fight for liberty by going behind their backs to end the war with England.
Colonel Lawrence, a spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar.
Are you suggesting I apologize?
In a word, yes.
I cannot. We need that money. Don't you understand? General Washington sent me because he believed a soldier could explain to them that we are at the end of our tether, and now or never our deliverance must come.
Colonel, I am 75 years old and suffering from a severe attack of gout. I am afraid that I do not have the energy to pursue an action I cannot win. I will write Congress that I have secured the 6 million livres and add to that my resignation.
How many Tories do you think are out there?
I can't tell yet.
The Tories are right behind us, Robert. Guess we stopped them, Robert. Robert!
Rochambeau said that to you? We're disorganized and ill-prepared to fight?
In so many words, yes.
I don't understand him. He wants to send his troops south to aid Lafayette when he could join with me to retake New York City and end the war.
Robert, you've got to let the doctor examine you. The shot is still in your shoulder.
I don't want any doctors operating on me. I've seen too many men die after surgery. I'll handle it myself.
I don't know what your story is. Treating your own wound? I don't know if you're brave or foolish.
The ships always rock like this, back and forth and back and forth.
Run them out smartly! Report!
The storm is putting the English fleet out of commission. Come, we must ride to Rhode Island and urge Rochambeau to send the French fleet to strike now.
Retaking New York City would make big headlines.
That would take too long. Right now, I need a quick victory. My spies are hearing rumors that Vergennes, the French foreign minister, wants a peace conference with the British to end the war. I've got no time to waste. I must have the French fleet dispatched. This is the perfect time for Rochambeau to sail for the south, capture Benedict Arnold, and defeat his army.
Now that headline would stop the peace conference.
Yeah!
French officers are so gallant.
I too am aware of the rumors that de Vergennes wishes to make peace with the British.
Then why do you waste 2 days honoring me with these balls?
It takes time to properly feed ships for a successful mission.
Robert, are you all right? Robert? Hello, is there a doctor out there?
Yes, I'm Dr. Barnabas Binney.
I was talking to Robert, and all of a sudden he stopped talking and started sweating.
Symptoms sound like malignant fever. It's all over the camp.
Is he going to be all right?
I'll check his heart. What? Oh, no.
What is it? Is he dying?
No, Robert's going to live, but how shall I say this? Robert isn't a he. He's a she.
What? Dr. Binney thought it would be better if you recovered from your wounds here in his house, away from prying eyes. So while the doctor figures out what to do about a young soldier who everyone thinks is a man, but really is a woman, why don't you tell me your whole story?
Where should I start?
How about with your real name?
My name is Deborah Sampson.
Deborah, why would a woman enlist in the Continental Army?
Heck, I was tall as most men, just as strong too, and I wasn't afraid to shoot a gun, so why shouldn't I fight for my country? I guess I was always kinda unconventional. See, my father went off to sea when I was a very young girl, and my mom was too poor to care for 7 kids. So I worked from the age of 10 to 18 as an indentured servant.
Indentured? You mean forced to stay and work, not able to leave until your mother's debt was paid off?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. And I'll tell you one thing, working in the fields made me strong. After my chores were done, I taught myself to read, Sarah. I read every book I could get my hands on. I must have learned a lot, because when I turned 18 and earned my freedom, they hired me to be a school teacher.
But I didn't think women were supposed to be school teachers.
I caused quite a stir, and I'll tell you something. I really did love teaching. I guess not following the rules just comes naturally to me.
And since the army doesn't accept women, you enlisted as a man.
Well, I sure tried.
Timothy Thayer?
Yes, ma'am. The problem was, I tried to join up in my own hometown. Not the smartest thing.
Timothy Thayer, huh? Well, I only know of one person in this town that holds a quill that way, because of an injured finger on her left hand. And that's the school teacher, Deborah Sampson.
They caught you and you tried again? Why?
Well, I just turned 21 and I didn't want to just get married. And I wanted to fight for my country. To all brave, healthy, able-bodied young men. I knew the army was hard up for soldiers, so I went to a town further away and enlisted there.
How on earth did you go unnoticed by the other soldiers?
It was hard. They teased me about not shaving, so... I told him I was just too young to grow a beard.
Your story is amazing! You took so many risks.
Yes, but I was always afraid of being caught. I'd heard of some other women who disguised themselves as men to enlist. When they were discovered, they were disgraced.
But you still had the courage to follow what was in your heart, no matter what the obstacles. Deborah? You should rest now.
What amazes me is that her disguise has gone undiscovered for over a year.
What are you going to do?
I'm afraid that I must follow orders and inform the army as to the true identity of Robert Shurtleff.
What is it, James?
Excuse me, General. About the letter you wrote to your nephew?
Ah, yes. I wrote to Lund that if Rochambeau had ordered the French fleet to sail south when I wanted, we could have captured that traitor Benedict Arnold and destroyed his army.
I'm sorry to report that it's been printed in this New York Tory newspaper.
Outrageous! That was a private letter to my nephew, and I was deeply upset when I wrote it.
Now everyone, including Rochambeau, is going to read it.
I will write Rochambeau an apology for my blunder.
Dr. Franklin, your genius for inventions never ceases to amaze me.
I thought a duet on my glass harmonica with Marie Antoinette might be nice. If you'll excuse me, Virgin, I believe the letter I've been waiting for has arrived.
Is it from America?
It's Congress's response to the letter I sent. Thank goodness they do not accept my resignation. They have the good sense to realize that when I resigned, I wasn't feeling well. I must write Congress and tell them that I'm feeling better, and it will be a great honor to once again buckle down to the business of America.
Then I shall take my leave.
Monsieur Virgin, the English have replied to your request for a peace conference.
There will be no peace conference. The English refuse to attend.
Why?
Because King George considers it to be a matter solely between England and her colonies. That is the end of it.
Pardon, where do the sailors sleep?
You must be Henri. Follow me. I'll take you to your bunk. This is your bunk.
There's someone in it.
But of course, there aren't enough beds for the whole crew. So, you sleep in it when he is on watch.
I can handle that. I'll be too busy as a journalist to sleep anyway. So, where do we eat?
Dinner.
Sacre bleu! Is this what you usually eat?
No, this is better. Wait till we set sail. That's when we get the bad stuff.
Let's company! Marche! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4!
So, you're sure you don't want to continue as a journalist with the French Navy?
Oui. I guess you could say I don't have the stomach for it.
Hey, Washington's talking to Rochambeau. Come on.
Count Rochambeau, I am dearly sorry for any embarrassment I caused you with my letter. It was written in a time of distress and was meant to be private.
Mon General, I received your letter of apology. Considered a matter of no consequence.
Thank you, sir, but I must persist. Have you given any further thought to my suggested plan of attack?
General, I have indeed considered your plan, and am now ready to join you in an attack on General Cornwallis in New York City.
Boy, Sarah missed a really good story.
No, I'm gonna be disgraced.
But what you did shows how dedicated you are to the cause of liberty.
But I'm still worried they'll put me in jail for dressing as a man.
Deborah Sampson, also known as Robert Shirtliff. Because you impersonated a man and enlisted against military policy.
Here it comes.
It is my honor to note your extraordinary instance of female heroism by discharging the duties of a faithful, gallant soldier. And therefore, I present you with an honorable discharge from the Continental Army of the United States, Light Infantry, Massachusetts 4th Regiment.
For a minute there, I thought I was in a heap of trouble.
Except you showed the whole nation what you are capable of.
I reckon I did, didn't I?
So, what will you do now that this adventure is over?
I guess I'm just gonna have to find me another one.
Another letter to your mother?
Yes. I just had to tell her how impressed I was with Deborah Sampson.
I'll tell you, she impressed me, leaving that shot in her shoulder.
It's more than that. She made me wonder, if a woman can find a way to serve as a soldier, why can't she enjoy the same rights of citizenship that men have? Why can't this whole country be unconventional? I mean, aren't we already rebels? Henri, what are you doing?
If I couldn't be a journalist, I wanted to show you I could be a printer, all by myself.
That's great. Now you can show us how you can clean up.
All by yourself.